Hey yo, what is going on guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you how to build a basic fuselage for a airliner in the world of Stormworks. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the video. But first, don't forget to subscribe for more content similar to this, which is building, build challenges, tutorials, and much more. So now let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay guys, so first of all, one thing you want to figure out is how big do you want your plane to be? How wide do you want it to be? And what types of seats do you want? So we're going to go ahead and start off with just a simple bar left to right, and we're going to go ahead and grab some seats. So we can either go for 4-seater, or we can even go for a 6-seater. The walls would be here. We can even go for an 8-seater, but at 8 seats, it's more suggested to go one block wider, my bad, and add a second aisle. Aisles can be 2 blocks wide, or they could be 3, or more if you want to be more of like a spaced out plane. So, for the purpose of this tutorial, we're just going to go with a 2-seater, a simple 2-seater, single aisle, so not a wide body. So just like this, we're just going to place 2 seats down. We're going to go ahead and cut these off. So we're going to delete the seats for now. Actually, we're going to go ahead and keep them, but we're going to raise them just a block, just like this. Just temporarily, just like that. Okay, so now what you want to do is you're going to want to build up 3 blocks from the floor, and this is where your windows are going to be. So your windows have to be exactly 3 blocks up off the ground, so that you can actually see outside. So we're going to spawn in, and I will show you that. So it's going to be a little bit sideways, but that's okay. See? 3 blocks is the magic number for windows as of seats. 2 blocks off the ground. 2 blocks including the seat itself. So now that we know the width, we are going to go 13 blocks. So that it would be 6 blocks vertical and 6 blocks down. Actually, yeah, 6 blocks in each direction. So this would be our total. Length and width, but we need to space it out so it's a little bit higher. So if you want to fit normal landing gear, I would suggest leaving 3 blocks of space underneath the floor. So we'll just delete those 3 blocks just like that. Okay, we're going to delete these 2 off the end, and then we're going to add them back up here. So this is still 13 blocks, it's just slightly higher. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build out 2 blocks, just like that. So this is 5 blocks right here. That was actually 6. This is 5 blocks right here. This is 5 blocks, and this is 5 blocks. So from there, what we can do is we can add a 1x2 wedge just to right here. And then over here, we could also do the same. And from there, we can add this, which is, actually, you know what? I think I did something wrong here. So I believe it would actually be, this block would be a block higher. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to make the undercarriage 2 blocks tall, and we can do something later to it, which will change it so that we'll have space for a 3 block wide tire. So we're going to go ahead and add a block of height, just like this. Okay, we're going to grab a 1x2 wedge, and we're simply just going to drag it down just like this. And right here, we'll drag this up, and then we'll place a 1x1 wedge right there. Okay, from down here, we're going to go ahead and change 2 wedges, and we're just going to simply delete 2 blocks high of this. Actually, you know what? We don't need to delete that high, we just need to delete 1 block. So that way, we can simply go ahead and connect this up, just like this, and there we go. We have the actual, I guess you could say, diagram of the fuselage. So we're going to go ahead and simply complete it. So it's about 3 blocks. So we're going to go ahead and just simply build around like that. Okay, so what we're going to do from there is we're going to go into selection grid, and we're going to select this. We're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it 1 block back from the window, and we'll just simply merge it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do our chairs. We're going to make them, so we're going to use a 1x2 window, and we're just going to place them down just like this. Okay, and right here as well. You could do many blocks for these. You can even do straight bricks. It's totally fine. It's up to you at the end of the day. But what I'm going to use is I'm going to use door frames, because in my opinion, those are very, very important for decorating, in my opinion. So I'm just going to simply place them down. Let me go ahead and actually grab it really quickly, and I will grab this, and I will place this right here. Here we go. This is one chair right here. One chair that is done. So I'm going to simply copy and paste it right here. Okay, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select the whole vehicle just like this, and I'm going to grab all of it just like this, and then I'm going to copy it and paste it several times just like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and merge everything now. Okay, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select the area with the wall, which would be this area right here. I'm going to go ahead and copy it. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of it really quickly. And I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. But before I paste it more, I'm going to delete the extra blocks that don't need to be here. And then we'll go ahead and start copying and pasting it forward. So we'll just go ahead and go several blocks just like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab more of it. So let me grab from here up, and we're just going to simply add extra blocks to the front of the vehicle to work on the front of the fuselage. So now we're going to go ahead and get started with the actual cockpit. So how we're going to do is we're going to grab some seats. These seats we're going to place them 3 blocks apart just like this. Okay, so there's going to be a middle panel just like this. So we'll get to that in a second. And we're going to go ahead and build the windshield. So we're going to go 3 blocks up, which that's the magic number for how high up the windshield needs to be. Well, in my opinion at least, which it's worked out for me many times, so we're going to do that. Okay, so from there, we're going to go ahead and do a pointed nose, which will be the equivalent of one of these. So we'll just place this up a little ways up, a little further forward than we think it should be, but we'll get to that in a second. So how we're going to do it for this is we're just going to go ahead and build all the way so it's as wide as these. So we're going to go ahead and place this and these windows, these edges right here, and this. But I actually changed my mind just barely. We're going to go ahead and change these to 1 by 1 window, or not 1 by 1, but we're going to gap it a little bit so that these are right here, and then this will be right here so that we have a little bit more vision. So now that we did that, what we're going to do is we're going to simply place this wedge right here. Then from there, what we can do is we could simply I think we could just go ahead and start deleting this. Actually, hold on, let me get better grip. So it would be from the bottom. We're going to go ahead, delete these right here, just this extra blocks, and we're going to get a 2 by 2 pyramid. And from right here, actually we need to delete a little bit more into the fuselage. 1 block's enough, so we'll just delete these. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and delete back just like this, and we're going to get a point. So we're going to drag it all the way back to here. That will work. Actually, we're going to go ahead and change this to a 2 by 1 pyramid, I think it was, and we'll just simply place it right there. Then the thing with these is you can still keep the 1 by 2 slant by placing this, and we could just leave it like that. Okay, from up here, we're going to go ahead and change this to a 1 by 2 edge, or sorry, 2 by 2 pyramid, and we'll simply just change this around like that. So the front of the nose, there's 2 ways you could do it. It could be either pointed, or so we could just point it down like this, and it would all come down to a point, or we could just slope it down into a steeper slope, which will give it, I'd assume, more shape. So this front part, it's really all down to experimenting with how you like stuff, and so it takes time to actually get the nose, and once you've practiced it enough, you get better and better at it. But we're just going to go ahead and build off this for now, so let's just simply continue with it. So basically all you have to do is just keep the flow going. So it looks like this 1x2 row will meet up with this. So we're going to do a 2x2 pyramid. Then from here, we could simply just drag forward 1x1 wedges just like this. And we could drag this forward by one more, just like that. And from right here, we can go ahead and use 2x2 pyramids. Since it's a even number, actually it's not, but the thing with these wedges is you can move and mess them around. So this little triangle doesn't have to be perfectly round, because from a distance you will not really see it very clearly. So from here you have two options. You can A, go like this and it would continue the 1x2 slope, or B, this is one of my favorite options, is you can simply grab the 2x4 or one of the 4x4 series and you could simply drag it to like right here, well, to right here at least, and you can place it just right here twice over and then once right here, and from a distance it will keep that shape. And it's very hard to notice that indent right there unless you're really looking close at it, but it gives the overall nose a little bit more shape, just like that. So we're going to leave that as is. Now we're going to go ahead and fill this front little bit up. So we're going to go ahead and get these wedges right here and simply fill in like that. Okay, so up here we see we have a 2 series slopes, so we can actually we're going to drag it back a little bit more to gain more visibility. So we're going to change this to a 1x4 wedge, just like this, and then we're going to go get the 2 series, which will be the 2x2 pyramids, and we can simply just drag it up like that. So right here, what we can do is we can get a 1x2 pyramid, and we could simply just drag it up to here. Okay, now here we can get a 1x2 pyramid, or 1x2 inverse pyramid, and we could go ahead and drag this over to here. So for this windshield, I would suggest to start off with a 1x1 series, going up one block, so that you have plenty of room for instrument panels and controls and all that. Because if you don't start with one, you won't really have a lot of room right here, because these blocks right here will be filled in and it would be harder to place more controls. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our 2 block series, or 2x2 series. Yeah, I'm going to call it 2 series for now. So I'm going to simply drag it down to here. Okay, actually that was slightly crooked, so we could just drag this down to here, just like this, and there we go. So right here we can go ahead and change this up. Now from right here we can go ahead and fill this in, and I think that's alright. That looks okay. So the main, actually we can put more windows right here since it's flat. So we're going to go ahead and put a 2x2 window here. Now we're going to go ahead and carve this out. So let's go ahead and carve it out just like this. So we're going to want to leave 2 blocks from the corner of these so that our actual cockpit, well, our actual seat doesn't hit the window itself, the window hitbox. So if we move it 1 block further forward, it will hit the window. So this is the furthest forward we could actually go with this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to fill this in right here as well as the floor really quickly, just like that. And this right here would be the controls. So what I like to do is I just simply put a robotic pivot, a robotic compact pivot, and I just place it right here. And then I just simply make this the control panel. Let me go ahead and merge it really quickly. This would be the control panel where all the controls are, and then I just put like a 0.3 or 0.2, and it tilts this surface up, so the actual controls are more pointed up. Okay, so for the rest of the cockpit, we're just going to make it 2 blocks behind the actual pilot seat. We're going to go ahead and delete this. So you could do a compact door using a robotic pivot. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So it's going to be 7 blocks tall. We're going to place a robotic pivot right here, this robotic pivot in the floor. So we're going to go ahead and build up 1 block, and that way place it down. Let's check. Yes, that is facing a nice way. Okay, we're going to go ahead and grab a door, a door frame, And as simple decoration, we could just simply place this right here, then right here, and then right here. Okay, now for the top, we're just going to simply turn this around just like this. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this is mostly the plane's fuselage. Now, what I suggest is to leave, I think it's, so it's 4 blocks for the bathrooms up here, so 4 blocks of space, including a wall. Then usually it would be 4 more blocks for the exit, as well as the flight attendant seats. And then there would be a wall here, and then that would be passengers area. That's what I usually do for my formula when making a plane. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this area out. So right here, so from the distance from here to here, I can go ahead cut out because I'm not going to use that space. So I'm going to simply just grab all of this and cut it just like that. And I'm going to select the front of the fuselage. Then from there, I could just cut it and move it back 2 blocks and paste it in and merge it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to make the door simply just using robotic pivots. It's going to be a basic door. There's nothing really going to be special about it. So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to move it out a couple blocks and then I'm going to paste it. So I'm going to paint the inside of the door frame a light gray, which will give it like a door frame semi look to it, I guess you could say. And then we're also going to go ahead paint this to indicate that there is a door here so that we could actually see there's a door. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this and we're going to paste it back right here, but we're not going to merge it. So we're going to grab a robotic pivot, this one right here. We're going to stack 2 so it comes slightly further out. So I'm just going to merge this right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab a toggle button, a double-sided toggle button, and a 1x1 window. That's usually how I do my doors. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this area just like this all the way back to here. We cut it. I'm going to press U to invert it to the other side. I'm going to paste it, and there we go. I'm going to merge it. Okay, so now it's time to make the back of the fuselage as well as the area for the wings. So we're going to go ahead and select all this area right here just like that, and we're going to go ahead copy it, we're going to paste it, we're going to paste it, and finally we're going to paste it. So we're going to go ahead and merge it all. So this is going to be a skinnier plane, so we're going to go ahead and cut into the fuselage a little bit like this. And then from there, we're going to delete the floor. So what I do for these is I usually go with a 2x4 pyramid or however many blocks you need for it. So for this one, you only need, actually, I can't use the 2x4 inverse pyramid. Well, sorry, pyramid, my bad. These are the inverse pyramids. Then from here, what I could do is I can go ahead and place this right here to give it elevation for a block, just like this. So you have to plan in advance for building an airliner. Whatever size of tire that you need is however big your cargo space is. So basically, if you're going to build a bigger airliner, I would suggest to do a space with, I would say, 6 blocks. That would be a really big plane, and you'd be using the 5x5 large wheels just like this for landing gear, and then you just place a block right here when you merge it properly. So this would be a landing gear right here. You just need to make sure you have space for it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and make space for our landing gear, which I have chosen ahead of time, the large landing gear. This will be the rear landing gear, and this needs to fit in here, so we elevated it down a block just like that. So now we're going to go ahead and drag this to here. So for your fuselages and the wings, normally you can just put it right up against this, but sometimes people put spacers, but for this one we're not going to. So we're gonna go ahead and drag this back to about right here. I would assume this will be a good enough distance. If it's not, we can always go back and cut and paste it later to make space for it, but for now we're gonna leave it as is. So we're just going to simply build this out like this. Now we're going to go ahead and select this area So about 4 blocks of space. We're going to go ahead and select it. We're going to cut it. We're going to go over here, and we're going to lower a block so we can get everything. We're going to copy it. We're going to invert it so it's facing backwards, and we're just going to simply paste it, just like that. So what we're going to do now is slightly after the back of this, we're going to go and start deleting this area right here. We might have to delete some passenger spots, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and start on the back of the plane. Now we're going to need a empty fuselage for this. So we're going to simply just start deleting back like this. Okay, we're going to delete this just like that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and delete the windows really quickly. So we're actually, we didn't need to delete that. Okay, here we go. We're going to go ahead and use a 2x4 wedge. 2x4 pyramid, my bad. And we're just going to simply drag this up to, all the way up to, right up to here. So a trick with this is you don't have to meet all the wedges at this level. What you can do to go around that to make a more elevated fuselage is you can simply go ahead, drag it up to right about here. So normally people would just simply go like this. Let me go ahead and grab a 2x4 pyramid. People would normally drag this up to here, and this would be the highest, but you do not have to do that. So what you do is you grab your next row of blocks dragging up, and you drag it so it's a block below all of these. So basically you can line them up individually and make the fuselage more pointed up, which would give it a more realistic shape. So we're going to simply go ahead and fill this in just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and get our next row. So let's delete this really quickly. And for this, we're going to go ahead and turn this around so it's right over here. And then we can use the 1x2 pyramids and inverse pyramids. And we could just simply drag it up just to right about here. So for these ones, it's a little bit different. You can go ahead and do either rows of 2 and then keep going up. But since for this one, it's the last row of wedges on the top, we're just going to simply drag it over to here, and we're just going to go ahead and place them just like this. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do one more row so we can actually even it out. So actually, you know what? So we're going to go ahead and add more of a curve to the top of it. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go and backtrack and delete this right here, and we're just going to simply drag it to over here. So actually, for here, we would need to use a 2x4 wedge, but we'll just backtrack to back here since I still have it in my Control Z. So we're going to go ahead and simply point it up. Well, drag these wedges up to a point, which will be among these wedges right here. So let's go ahead and drag this up just like that. Okay, this will be the top of the fuselage, the back, where the vertical stabilizer is. So we'll just simply fill this in. Now from here, we're just going to drag these wedges all the way down. Okay, let's go ahead and drag this down to about right here. All right, one more spot, there we go. Okay, so this is a little unproportional. So how we're gonna fix this is we're gonna go ahead and select this area. We're gonna select with the window, and we're going to go ahead and delete a couple rows, just like this. So let me go ahead and select all the way to the other side. Yes, I did. So I can cut it, and I can clear content. Now for up here, how I get this, I would just go ahead and cut it, and paste it. I think this would be a proportional shape, so I'm going to paste it here. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and simply color the windows just like this. Now, if you have access to modded windows, it is suggested. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my modded window set, which makes it so much easier to see. It changes the visibility from this right here. Let me go ahead and get into the cockpit. It changes the visibility from this, which isn't very visible. You can't really see very well, all the way to... Let me go ahead and merge it really quickly. Actually, this needs to be moved to one block so I can merge it, because I was on a pivot. Okay, now it changes it from that to this right here, which is so much better. You can see so much more. So that is going to be it for this episode. For the fuselage itself, this is the fuselage right here. So what we're going to cover is wings, as well as vertical stabilizer and horizontal stabilizers in the next episode on how to build an airliner. So with that said, I will see you guys in another video. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Discord. It'll be linked down below. And while you're at it, you might as well turn on notifications so you're notified every single time I upload. So with that said, I will see you guys in the next one. So, bye for now.